What's going on, YouTube? We have week 3 of stage 2 coming up this weekend, so you know what that means. It's time for some more pick'ems. I'm going to be going through my pick'ems for the final week leading into Major 2. Very briefly, we can look at what I did for week 2, which was last week. 7 out of 10 matches were predicted to correctly. I don't think I got any perfect ones except for the OpTic series where I predicted a 3-0. Overall, not too bad. I mean, I think if you get 7 or more correct, that's a pretty solid weekend. So that's looking pretty good. Right now we're at 35 total points for Major 2, which is, you know, it is what it is, right? It's not terrible. At least I'm regaining from what I did in the first stage, which wasn't very good. But with that being said, let's just hop right into our week 3 matchups. Starting it off with Ultra versus Paris. Obviously, I think most people are going to pick Ultra in this scenario. Paris is definitely the worst team in the league at this point. They're a team that they could definitely surprise. They're not awful. If like Jimbo has a really good series and John's playing really well, this is a team that could be really, really good. But ultimately, I don't see this team beating Toronto. So I'm going to go 3-1. I feel like Paris could probably steal a hard point just because Toronto's not that good at hard point this year. So I think this will go 3-1 Toronto. Then we have the Battle of LA. We have LA Gorillas versus LA Thieves. This is a tough matchup because you have the Gorillas who are 2-1 so far in this stage, and you have the Thieves who are 0-3 so far in this stage. So the Gorillas have definitely looked better. The Thieves are, I would say, likely picked as the better team over the Gorillas in general throughout the year. But this is definitely tough because you got a team who... Thieves, who were really good at hardpoint, are now like not that great at hardpoint anymore. Same thing with the Gorillas. They're like kind of an okay hardpoint team. Control wise, neither of these teams are spectacular. And then SND wise, Gorillas are definitely a better SND team than the Thieves, but neither of these teams honestly are exceptional at any aspect of the game. Overall, I lean towards LA Thieves just because I really think they know they need to get some wins on the board here. And they're going up against a team that they definitely can beat, right? They're not playing a super top caliber team, right? This is a bottom 5, bottom 6 team, obviously, in the league that they're going up against. And I do think they'll be able to take this one. I'm going 3-1. I think they take all the respawns and the Gorillas take the search and destroy. If this goes 3-2, I think the Gorillas win it. So that's why I'm going 3-1 LA Thieves. Then we have the Florida Mutineers versus the Atlanta FaZe. Now, this could be one of those series. Florida is definitely one of those upset possible teams. I feel like pretty much any team in like the bottom 5 could upset anybody, right? And I think Florida has that possibility. I saw a lot of people going 3-0 FaZe, which is definitely possible. I think it ultimately depends on the coin flip. I'm going to go 3-1 FaZe just because Florida's a really good control team and FaZe has actually been pretty lackluster on control. So overall, I think FaZe definitely wins this series pretty much no matter what. But I do think Florida is a team that can steal a map off of FaZe. Now, coming on into Saturday, we have the LA Thieves versus Seattle Surge. Another tough matchup for the Thieves, right? Seattle has been very inconsistent, and this is definitely a team I think the Thieves are better than, but Seattle's one of those teams that, right, and like sometimes they don't look good and then they come out and they beat FaZe. So you never really know what to expect out of this Seattle team. I think this could really go either way. Part of me is leaning towards Seattle, but I'm going to go LA Thieves 3-2. I think it's more of a safer bet, and obviously I want LA Thieves to win this. And I think they can take this. I think even if it goes 3-2, I don't necessarily think Seattle definitely has this in the bag. But this is one of those games where like it really depends who comes out hotter. Both these teams have been very inconsistent, and you never really know what you're going to get, I feel like, from either of these teams at this point. And I think the teams know that they can't be losing these series, because if they do, JCap might start benching some people. They gotta try and fight for that 2-3 in this stage and see if maybe they can win those tiebreakers to get winners at this Minnesota Major that's coming up in next weekend. And then we have Florida versus Boston Breach, a matchup that I think will be really good because both of these, Boston's really good at hard point. Florida's pretty good at hard point. Florida pretty much only plays a Bocage. Boston's pretty solid on Bocage. I mean, you know, Capsule and Nero have like the top 2 kill records on Bocage. Both of these teams are pretty solid at control. Well, actually, Boston's pretty bad at control. Florida's pretty solid at control. And then Boston's obviously a better search and destroy team. Overall, Boston is not a team that I want to doubt as much anymore these days. They've definitely proved me wrong. And time again, they show how good they are. So I'm going Boston 3-2 here. If this was earlier in the year, I would have definitely picked Florida, but I think Boston is a better team overall. If this goes game 5, Boston's definitely a better S&D team in my opinion. So I'm going to go Boston 3-2. Then we have LAG versus OpTic. This is definitely could be a series that ends up being more difficult for OpTic than a lot of people think it is. If LAG's firing on all cylinders, they can definitely be a really good team, but OpTic's definitely the best team in the game, and I'm going to go 3-0 here. I think, I mean, OpTic is pretty much the best at almost every game mode. I think they're like first in control and then second in hardpoint and second in SND. So they're definitely, you know, the best team in the game. And overall, I just don't think they really have much of a chance in this series. Our last matchup on Saturday is actually a really good one, and one I'm very excited to watch because you have a Minnesota Rocker team who's been trending upwards, as well as an NYSL team who's been trending upwards, right? This is one of those series where you kind of don't know what you're going to get because you have this new NYSL roster that we've only seen them play Paris, right? So we don't really know what to expect out of them. And then we have the Minnesota Rocker, who are a team that can be really good or it can be really bad. Obviously, the respawns, especially, I mean, specifically hard, have been pretty bad this year, and even last year. The subliners obviously were really bad at hardpoint, but they looked pretty solid against Paris, but they were playing Paris, so it's like, I don't really know what to pick for this matchup. Part of me wants to pick NYSL because I really think they could pull up this game, but my gut's telling me to go 3-2 Minnesota. I pick against Minnesota a lot, and they really do prove me wrong a lot of the time. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt here and actually put them as my pick for this matchup. I just realized you couldn't see any of that, so there's the 3-2 for the Rocker over subliners. I apologize, my thing wasn't scrolled down. And then we move into Sunday, the last day of matches before the major. This is definitely going to be an interesting Sunday to see what happens, because there's a lot of games in here that are very important for the overall seeding going into the major. First up, we have London versus Boston. I really think this could go either way. Both of these are top 5 teams in my opinion. London definitely the better overall team, but you never really know what you're going to get with London. This past week, they've obviously not looked super great with Gizmo just coming back, but I think they're going to be overall better. I think this is going to go 3-1. I think London's just a better team, and overall in the season, London has definitely looked better, so I don't want to doubt them in this series. Then we have OpTic versus FaZe. Definitely, you know, the best matchup. Might even be in the matchup we're going to see in the finals again in Major 2. Personally, for me, I definitely think OpTic is a better team. FaZe is definitely number 2. There's a lot of definitelys here. I'm going OpTic 3-1. I've seen a lot of people pick 3-2. I've seen a lot of people pick OpTic. Not many people are picking FaZe in this series, which is understandable. OpTic has looked like the best team in the game, so I'm going to go 3-1. I think OpTic just has FaZe's number this year. I think they definitely have them locked down. OpTic's fundamentals have looked really good. Their teamwork has looked really good. Their comms have sounded really good, and they're probably in FaZe's head a little bit after the reverse sweep and then the dominant performance I think they had at the finals of Major 1. So I'm going to go OpTic 3-1. Then we have a series that I really think the subliners could win. You got a Toronto team who's looked very bad in hardpoint. You got an NYSL team who's starting to look better in hardpoint, right? Both of these, Toronto's definitely better at search, but subliners are competent. They're both competent teams. Subliners looking better and Toronto not looking as good as we expected. I do think this could go either way, but I'm going to go Toronto 3-2. I think Toronto's definitely got the ice for sure. I think they can take this over NYSL if it goes to a game 5. I feel like they'll split the hard points. They might even split the search and destroys, and Toronto will win the control, something like that. I do think this is going to be a close series, and I think the subliners have this upset potential, but I'm going to go Toronto because I do think it's a safer pick. Thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy, drop a like, subscribe for more CDL content. Hopefully you enjoy the matches this weekend. Let me know what you think of my picks. Let me know what you have in your picks. And with that being said, I'll see you all in the next video.